What's going on, people? I'm back again for another video about how much money I make as a street photographer. I made a similar video last year, which I'll leave a link in the description below in case you haven't seen it, but a lot has changed since then, so I thought I'd share a few updates for 2024. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, my name is Brian Brock, and I started shooting street photography in the summer of 2019. I originally just picked up the camera as a way of unplugging from my work life and kind of reconnecting with my surroundings. But over the last few years, my love for photography has grown into an unexpected income stream. And I feel like there's value in sharing how and why and what. So in this video, let me break it down. In 2022, I made an extra $6,000 a month as a street photographer, which totaled just over $72,000 for the year. But fast forward to 2023, I actually only made $4,000 a month, totaling just over $50,000 for the year. Now, you might be saying to yourself, why would you make a video about making less money than before? Like, how does that make sense? Or is this video even going to help me? Well, trust me, I got you. Because in this video, I'm going to share how I made the money and why making less was actually better for me and potentially a step in the right direction. So let's get into it. Okay, so what changed last year? The most exciting news is that my YouTube channel got monetized. I didn't expect that to happen so quickly, but full transparency, even though I got monetized, I don't really consider YouTube to be one of my income streams just yet. For example, in the last 6 months since being monetized, I've only made about $52. But for me, it's cool to know that the potential to earn an income stream is there. And what's even cooler is the fact that I could make money by doing something that I love, and hopefully by helping other people along the way. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and for everyone else that's been down since day one, thank you, I appreciate it. Now let's get into how I made $4,000 a month as a street photographer. Okay, so last year there were only 2 ways that I was actually able to make money as a street photographer in comparison to 2022 when I actually had 4 ways of making money. So in 2022 I released prints and I had a personal project, my first photo book, and it did really well. But this last year I didn't do either of those, so my income in that area was essentially non-existent. So how did I make money? The 2 ways I made money as a street photographer were doing client work and education and workshops. But before we jump into client work and education, I should clarify that only a small portion of my photography income actually comes from me physically shooting on the street. The majority of my photography income comes from using my street photography sensibilities in a commercial setting. Okay, so when it comes to client work and being an entrepreneur, you have to remember one thing. Your income is never guaranteed. Just because you have a client one year doesn't mean that you're going to have the same client the following year. And even if you did great work together, things change, budgets get cut, they may want to go in a different direction, and it's all really just part of the game. So I had a crazy reminder of that this year when I lost one of my biggest clients. And in all honesty, that was $24,000 out of my pocket. But I didn't let that scenario hold me back. I actually used that as motivation to see what else I was capable of. And to be honest, I think I had my most successful year as a photographer to date. In 2023, I shot my first ad campaign with Jeremy Lin for Invisalign. I also shot my first lookbook and campaign images for Adidas. I continue to shoot BTS on set for a bunch of different TV shows, commercials, and web series. And I tried my hand at event photography. Plus a mix of creative direction, art direction, producing, casting, and a lot more. So how did I make less money if I was doing all of those things? Well, even though I lost one major client, I was able to up my day rate, properly charge for editing photos, and I learned how to take on new roles, all of which added up to me making more money per job. So here's a quick comparison to show you how the numbers worked. In 2022, I did a total of 33 freelance jobs for a grand total of $44,000, which averages out to be somewhere around $1,333 per gig. But last year, in 2023, I only did 16 freelance jobs, and the grand total was $39,500, which is an average of about $2,468 per gig. So overall, that means I made $1,134 more per job. And I think it's important to highlight that because this means I made more money using less of my time. And ultimately, that's the goal. I mentioned this in my first video, but I'm definitely not an expert or even a full-time professional photographer. I'm just a street photographer who's curious about life, and I'm always open to sharing my lived experiences, especially if it can help someone else along their journey. So for 2023, I earned a total of $11,100 from education and workshops, panel discussions, mentorship, and community photo walks. When I first started hosting community photo walks, it was a great excuse to just get out and shoot while meeting new people in the city. In the beginning, the walks were very small, with only like 5 to 10 people, but over the last year, they've become really popular, with over 40 to 50 people signing up for one event. Now, these walks are totally free unless I include a $5 donation to a local charity, but I never looked at these walks as a potential income stream. But I've learned that aside from other organizations wanting to hire me to host these walks, there are also community micro grants that neighborhoods offer to encourage positive activations that engage the community. So by tapping into all of these opportunities, my photo walks have provided me with a portion of my income that is directly related to me physically shooting on the street. So it's the same things I would do for free every single day, but now I'm actually getting paid for it. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so now you've seen how I make money as a street photographer. And for anyone who's looking to turn their passion into a side hustle, I hope this video helps you spark some ideas. For those of you wondering why I said making less was a good thing and maybe a step in the right direction, let me explain. So making less compared to the previous year is okay, because I look at earning income from photography as a bonus. I'm not actively running a photography business, and I think my perspective would definitely change if photography was my only source of income. But because I'm still learning and growing as a photographer, I treat these opportunities as paid practice. Another reason why making less was a step in the right direction was because it gave me more time to focus on myself as an artist. I think personal projects are really important, so I took this last year to research some ideas I have for future projects. And I'm excited to say that I think I've landed on a very personal, long-term photo project that I hope to start making this year. So from one street photographer to another, I'm just trying to figure this out as I go. I hope this video gave you some insight, hopefully added some value, and taught you a few things, but regardless, I'm just gonna keep shooting and we'll see what happens.